Great photographs start with great light. If you understand lighting, what lights to use, where to put your lights, well, you're on your way to understanding photography. Right now, I'm being lit with a background light, a backlight, a fill light, a key light with a flag, and a kicker light. Quite an artistic setup. And if I look particularly good under these lights, the man I have to thank is Ross Lowell, the man who invented these Lowell lights. But you have to wonder if this complicated setup isn't a bit beyond the average photographer. So in just a moment, I'm going to ask Ross Lowell if you can't create good, creative portraits using something much simpler. But first, let's go back to where we started. By turning off the kicker, the fill light, the key light, the backlight, and the background light.
Mike, you don't actually need all these lights to do effective lighting. And quite the contrary, sometimes a single light source, well placed and carefully chosen, can be far more effective. And why don't we experiment with this a little bit and see what we can achieve with a single light. This is a portable location soft light that folds up compactly for travel. And it has 2,000 watts in it.
Oh, yes.
And placed...
and I'll face the camera here so everybody can see exactly what you're doing with the lighting.
Sure. Placed where lights normally are, which is very close to the camera lens. In addition, there's very little texture and very little modeling and character and sense of depth. As the light comes around to the side more, and perhaps overhead a little bit more, then there's a lot more roundness and texture and character. And by panning the light over to that white wall, we also achieve a little bit of automatic fill without using another source. Then as the light comes further back, it becomes extremely dramatic, probably too much so for most situations, unless, unless that's the effect that one is after. But certainly the contrast and the character of it changes toward the dramatic. And as the light is dropped down low, the effect can be fairly unnatural and spooky and mysterious.
Well, I imagine that's real attractive, isn't it?
But this is the ghost look. Outdoors, most light comes from overhead, either the sun or the sky. And this would be the effect if a single source were placed very high. As you can see, it's not too attractive for people because the eyes go extremely dark and the noses get very bright. Coming back further and turning the light toward a white wall, which you often have on modern apartments and offices, you begin to get a little bit more fill light.
And again, as the subject, it's much more comfortable for me, and you'll probably get a better shot that way.
Mike, this looks like a two-light setup. There's a fairly strong backlight on your hair and shoulders, and an equally strong one on your face. But in fact, as you can see, there's really only one light being used, and that's the focusing DP, Lowell DP light in the background, that's concentrated on this reflector that I'm holding. And this reflector's filling in your face and acting as a key or a front or a main source light. And this is, in fact, designed, we designed this to be an outdoor sun reflector, but no reason it can't be used with artificial lights. And where it's positioned controls the effect, once again, as if it were a light source.
Now, on a real shoot, we probably don't need the inventor of the Lowell light to be holding a reflector. A stand will probably do.
It would do much better, certainly steadier than I am.
Yes. Would a white card work as well as that silver-colored reflector?
Yes, a large white card, and they're generally called show cards and available in art supply stores with a black side on the back for blocking light, works quite well, although you'd have to concentrate the light a little more to make up for the fact that it's less efficient a reflector than this is.
Well, Ross, we've really maintained our theme of just using one light and doing it in a variety of ways, with a reflector or in the front or whatever. So it's very simple to do creative lighting for portraiture.
Yes, I would certainly agree with that. The mood of the film is very definitely dependent upon the quality of light, and there's certainly many ways to achieve effective images.
Sure. Well, Ross, thank you very much for being on our show the last couple of weeks. It's been a pleasure learning lighting from the man who has so much to do with Lowell lights. Thank you very much.
I enjoyed it very much. Thank you,
Good.
Mike.